With regards to Fracture, the 2007 movie, specifically, because apparently there's another one, for some reason, made 3 years prior. I don't know why they don't use names as unique identifiers, but anyway, yeah, you know, it actually made me realize that I like legal thrillers. Didn't quite know it before, but one that learns all the time as it happens. Uh, in a way, illegal thriller is even more thrilling than just what the supposed normal per se thriller is. I mean, because when you get normal thrillers, you just get so-called action movies, and you know I don't know what it is, but it doesn't just loads of guns being fired. I mean, sure there was one gun, two. Yeah, there were two guns fired. Guns generally just whatever. I don't know, even if uh, punches are thrown or whatever, it's not thrilling by itself, is it? What's thrilling is the narrative, and this other narrative. And yeah, this cat and mouse game was interesting. I could actually figure out what he was thinking at the end there when he was looking up double jeopardy laws. Also, apparently, this says that part of the trivia that in California that would be allowed or anything. So I'm not entirely sure about that. Maybe in California, double jeopardy doesn't apply to me. Not sure. I thought that was an amendment that double jeopardy. Anyway, yeah. I mean, it's not like but it's interesting to see uh, it all play out in a way, kind of like but I thought they rushed it a bit at the end there. I'm not sure many people talked about it. I suppose I don't know. None of the critics seem to mention it, and the little bits I've read at least. Then, of course, but yeah, it seemed to be a bit rushed though, and the ending was a bit anticlimactic. I don't know, just ending with a beginning of the court case. A bit strange of a bit, yeah, just a bit of a strange ending. I never saw such an ending. That's really just, yeah. I mean, one assumes that he'd be convicted, but it's never certain, of course. There's always technical complications and such. So I don't know. Maybe they wanted to do a series or something. I thought, I was thinking, what on earth can they do in the last 5 minutes? So that's pretty much my major sort of complaint about this. Really, it was rushed. Other than that, though, coming to it was fairly interesting. Um, yeah, just everything that happened, how it happened. It was, I suppose one could say, thrilling. Yeah. Um, I mean, honestly, I couldn't figure out that he made this switch, guns and everything. So that baffled me. But generally, though, um, I've seen a few Hitchcock films, and they're supposed to be thrillers as well. Now, I'm not sure if he ever did legal thrillers specifically, but the ones I've seen at least w- weren't very thrilling. I mean, they're not very, very thrilling. Like, even Psycho itself isn't quite thrilling. It's more of a character study more than thrilling, so more interesting in that sense. But I don't know, people seem to say, yeah, just one of those things. I mean, of course, what thrills some people doesn't thrill others. Most people seem to be thrilled by Fracture, though. And I think I was as well, except for the ending there, in which sort of hit a brick wall or such. Um, they did talk a bit nonsense, like when they introduced that guy, the lawyer, and such. And it is a bit of an exaggeration, for him to say that he won 97% of the cases. Then, as it happens, you look upon the case, the one case that would probably add, the would subtracted this another percentage or so, or whatever the proportion is of the cases he dealt with. It is unbelievable. Of course, 97% doesn't mean much. If he only had like 5 cases or something, 97 would be. But it is unbelievable because of his age. The fact that, uh, as Hopkins' character says, he was still in debt as well. So, if he won so much, why is he still in debt? Unless I'm not really sure if they get more money if they win or not. But yeah, it's quite something for him to begin in apparently Mickey Mouse Club and end up in a as a lawyer. What I also was wondering about is whether it took me a bit by surprise that he met him. I didn't think prosecuting lawyers met with the defendants privately. I thought only their own lawyers did. I need to look that up. But yeah, otherwise, I mean, I also learned about the Babinski effect through this movie. For some reason, I had never encountered it before. It's quite interesting that uh, reflexes have such a different sort of thing. Yeah, when the spinal cord or diseases are present, reflect, they react differently. So that's interesting. Um, of course, it's not a medical drama. I'm sure I would have learned much more if I actually saw a medical drama. Anyway, just a little bit, yeah. Suppose as long as the law itself is correct, I suppose, then um, but apparently, it might not be actually. So at any rate, the point is in the so every movie really sets up this framework where whatever happens is a sort of a in-universe thing. And of course, though, I mean, when we're dealing with the law and such, I suppose it's something to hope that it reflects reality, because otherwise, it is an in-universe thing, but it's not like fantasy as such. It's supposed to be based on reality, so it's a bit disappointing when it doesn't, and yeah. But otherwise, I mean, it was still fairly interesting, everything that happened and such. Um, when the police officer thought shot himself, I really, really thought that Hopkins' character had something to do with it again. Can't believe no one even mentioned it as a possibility. I mean, what else is the audience supposed to think about? He did something similar at the beginning, and then tried to convince people that he didn't, and then somehow, and how was he even able to get a gun inside courtroom anyway? But yeah, it kind of misleads people, the audience, when that happens. I assume not the only one who thought that might have been the case. He was obviously on the other side, but I thought that he still somehow might have something to do with it. It's very strange for a police officer to shoot himself out of what remorse. Just it makes no sense. It would have made much more sense if he actually tried to shoot him. If he really loved her. Um, but anyway, that's I guess a little weird aspect of it. Yeah. Now, I haven't actually watched all of the Hannibal franchise, but I think I've watched one. So I know basically it's some sort of similar to this, but he's more psychopathic in it. But yeah, it's interesting still. I mean, I didn't know he did other things other than Hannibal. Yeah, the whole thing was fairly intriguing to say the least. Yeah. But the ending was strange, I suppose. I mean, these movies have all sort of different endings, but this one was definitely strange.